Welcome to Fenway Park as we play day baseball. It's Game 3 of the 3-game series between the Washington Nationals and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the Red Sox have taken the first 2 games of this series, and we've talked about it all spring training long. And to begin this year, a healthy Dustin Pedroia is certainly a good thing.
Well, he predicted all offseason and during spring training that he was going to have a good year. A lot of people have been mentioning the numbers that have gone down over the last couple of years, and that's because of injury. But there's been no injury so far this season, and he's really turning on some inside fastballs. 3 home runs so far this season for Pedroia, and look at the location of every one of these pitches. They're going to be inside. A year ago, he couldn't handle that pitch because of the problems that he was having physically. But this year, he's turning the ball around. Most recent against Strasburg last night, a fastball up and in, and Pedroia takes it out of the ballpark. So this is the swing that he had a couple of years ago before he started to get hit by all these injuries. And right now, Dustin's playing great baseball. Defense, as usual, Gold Glove caliber at second base. And the power is back for him right now, so he's off to a terrific start.
Well, the Red Sox also off to a terrific start, trying to make it a clean sweep. Wade Miley on the mound today for Boston. Last time out, Miley pitched very well at Yankee Stadium in New York. Ended up not being part of the lengthy decision, as it turned out to be a 19-inning victory for the Red Sox. He'll get his first start at Fenway coming your way next. Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Choose Nissan.com. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Your local Subaru dealers. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Now, a beautiful day in Boston, blue skies, as the Red Sox and Washington Nationals play day baseball today on this one Boston day from Fenway Park. Just wrapped up a pregame ceremony here at the ballpark to recognize the 2-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings. And, of course, here the first pitch, Jeff Bauman out there throwing the first pitch as he made his way out there to throw the first pitch here. And emotional scene at Fenway Park moments ago with Brock Holt and Dustin Pedroia both receiving the ceremonial first pitches. Also, at the request of Mayor Marty Walsh, today's game will pause for a moment of silence at 2:49 p.m. to remember those affected. Carlos Arredondo here as well today, and Boston strong signs throughout the ballpark on this beautiful day here this afternoon. And it's amazing that it has already been 2 years now, the anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings. As the Red Sox take the field today, as they do, let's check out the Washington Nationals starting lineup. The Nationals lineup is brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Janelle Escobar leading it off at third base with Ian Desmond at shortstop batting second. Jason Worth is the DH with Bryce Harper in right field. Ryan Zimmerman at first base with Wilson Ramos doing the catching. Tyler Moore is in left field and getting his first appearance of the series, as is Dan Ugla at second base batting eighth, and Michael Taylor at center field bats ninth. Today's Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience the all-new Audi A3 today. Wade Miley last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks made 33 starts, finished the year 8-12, 4.34 earned run average. He's 2 years removed from being a National League All-Star and representing the Arizona Diamondbacks. And last time out at Yankee Stadium, he went the first 5 1/3, a game that turned out to be 19 innings and gave up 2 runs, was not part of the decision.
The Red Sox defense, they've made 8 errors in the 8 games they've played so far. Brock Holt will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia in second. Alan Craig gets the start at first. Left to right, Hanley Ramirez, Mookie Betts, and Shane Victorino. And Sandy Leone doing the catching for Miley. Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
The umpires, Paul Schreiber has a play calling the balls and strikes with Clint Fagan at first base, Manny Gonzalez at second base, and Jim Reynolds is the crew chief at third base. Nice day here today at Fenway Park, 66 degrees as we get it started. The breeze out to right at 6 miles per hour, and the forecast partly cloudy for the remainder of the day. But right now, not a cloud in the sky above Fenway Park. A high sky today for the outfielders to deal with, as Janelle Escobar prepares to step in to get it started. Today is also Jackie Robinson Day, the 12th annual Jackie Robinson Day on the 68th anniversary of his first Major League game at Ebbets Field back on the 15th of April, 1947 for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And for the 7th consecutive year, all players and on-field personnel across Major League Baseball all wearing the number 42. As the first pitch misses low for ball 1, and we are underway. Escobar will take a strike this time.
For those who have not seen Miley pitch yet, he works very, very quickly and has an excellent move to first base for a pickoff move.
Down the third baseline, it is a foul ball, and the throw across by Holt, just in case, but a foul ball the indication.
Some changes in that Red Sox lineup today. Brock Holt in at third base, and Pablo Sandoval, who fouled the ball off his foot last night, out of the lineup, but he's okay. David Ortiz just getting a day off. You see Alan Craig getting the start at first base. And the good news, Xander Bogaerts back in the lineup.
As MRI came out positively last night, as the pitch will miss. Escobar 10 for 32 out of the gate so far, 313. And a flare foul down towards Canvas Alley. Escobar, Desmond, and Worth here in the first inning to face Wade Miley. In the dirt and a full count. There is Desmond waiting on deck for the Nationals. Ball 4, and Miley walks the first batter that he faces. He walked 2 in 5 1/3 last time out. Well, for today only, get 4 tickets for just $99 to an upcoming Red Sox game. Go to redsox.com/taxday to take advantage of this special tax day offer.
Did you pay your taxes, Don, or did you get an extension?
No. I took care of that before I go to spring training every year, because I know that when I get back, there's going to be very little time to get it done. Ian Desmond standing in with a runner at first, and he'll send one foul to the grandstand off to the right.
And we talked about that pickoff move by Miley, and you'll see a lot of guys at first base not get a real big lead against him because the word has got around very quickly. And of course, they know him from the National League.
Desmond, the longest tenured member of the organization. He was drafted in 04. He's the last player to have played for the Montreal Expos before the move to the Washington Nationals. Finally missing inside on a couple of different occasions here, and it's 2-1.
And Desmond's got off to a very tough start defensively, but they say the same thing happened to him last year. And then he settled down and became a very solid shortstop.
Well, we've seen some very shaky defense all the way around for the Washington Nationals so far in this series.
Yeah, they have not put their best foot forward the last couple of nights here at Fenway Park, that's for sure.
Virtually handing the game to the Red Sox last night, much to the chagrin of Matt Williams, the man at the helm of the Nationals. Late swing fouled off just beyond the Red Sox dugout. Center fielder Mookie Betts step or two towards right center. Good size gap out there in left center for Desmond. Escobar with his lead at first, and the first check over there, and he is back to the bag.
Last night, Desmond at shortstop had a chance, I thought, to get a play at home plate here, but he elected not to go home. And that eventually was the winning run for the Red Sox.
And 6 errors in 9 games. Tough way to start the year.
Yeah, it's we talked about that last night. When you're in a groove like that, or a bad groove like that, you're tentative to make plays. You just don't want to make a mistake again.
Jason Worth on deck. Nobody out here in the top half of the first inning. Broken bat, and it goes softly to second. Pedroia will throw out Desmond. Barrel of the bat was headed back at Wade Miley. Had to get out of the way as Escobar takes second base.
A weapon heading out here toward Wade Miley. The piece of the bat, of the barrel of the bat. Takes a peek back at it, but the most important thing, the Red Sox do get an out on it. No play at second for Pedroia. Takes the out at first base.
So one down, Escobar in scoring position for Jason Worth, off to an 0-for-7 start. And a pitch outside for ball one.
Jason Worth asking the second base umpire to move to the other side. He was in his line of vision on the second base side of second base, so he's moved to the shortstop side.
Sandy Leon doing the catching today for the Red Sox as Hannigan gets the day off, and Leon with another start here catching Wade Miley.
Hannigan had another great game behind the plate last night.
Three 3-0 now to Worth. 17 pitches from Miley, 8 strikes out of the gate here.
Even though Worth is struggling, he may have the green light here. 3-0.
Takes strike one at the top of the zone. On deck, Bryce Harper batting out of the cleanup spot today. Worth was swing and a miss, and it's a full count now.
Excellent changeup at 83 miles an hour. Worth sitting on the fastball, 3-1, does not get it. Gets the changeup. And way out on his front foot.
Fly ball hit well to right field. Victorino going back. It is going to be caught by Victorino on the warning track. Escobar tags and moves to third. A good running catch by the Gold Glove right fielder Shane Victorino.
Well, at the beginning, it did look like Victorino was going to get there. It was kind of a late break, a little bit of a late break, and plus the breeze blowing out in that direction. And Victorino has to reach it all the way across his body to make that catch. Terrific play. The Red Sox outfield defense has been excellent early in the season. You can see that ball slicing on Victorino. Had to quickly make that adjustment in the outfield to be able to make that catch going away to the warning track.
So Escobar at third base, 2 down in the inning, and here is Bryce Harper. 7 for 32 to begin the year, hitting at .219. As he takes strike one. Bryce Harper, 22 years of age. Had 13 home runs last year and played just 100 games with the left thumb repair that took place last year. Well, get in the swing of baseball season. Make sure you never miss a game by downloading the Red Sox schedule today. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the 2015 schedule directly into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program. Yanel Escobar at third base with 2 outs here in the Washington first inning. Close pitch, called the ball, and it was inside.
Just a little bit inside here. They want to go inside against Harper. They get it there, but not quite on the corner.
Fouled off to the left, out of play.
That's a good job by Harper right there, because after that fastball in, they go slider away, and he's able to somehow make contact and foul it off.
Harper drives this to deep center field, sending Mookie Betts back to the wall. It's off the wall. Escobar will score to second base with an RBI wall ball double as Bryce Harper, and the Nationals jump out to a 1-0 advantage. A couple of hard hit balls in this inning off Wade Miley.
Well, you got to tip your cap to Harper here. He hit 2 sliders. One he fouled off. He gets another one, and this one has a little bit more of the plate, and he takes it off that center field wall. So the critical pitch in that at bat was the slider that he fouled off. It gave him another chance. He got another slider. This one had more of the plate, and he drives it off that center field wall and gives the Nationals a 1-0 lead.
Now Ryan Zimmerman for the Nationals. Zimmerman with 2 home runs on the year, but a .138 batting average coming in. Has been walking, leads the Nationals with 6 walks on the year. Swing and a miss here, evens a count of 1-1. And 5 home runs last year in a total of 61 games. He missed 99 games, 2 different stints on the DL last year, right thumb and right hamstring problem.
They hope by moving him to first base this year that helps him stay healthy.
This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Wade Miley. And it misses for a ball. He falls behind 3-1. Already the third 3-ball count for Wade Miley. So Wilson Ramos waiting on deck. Zimmerman to right. Victorino going back to the corner. Wins taken, and he's not going to get this one. Bangs around in the corner as Harper scores from second. Zimmerman is headed for third, and he will get there standing with a 2-out RBI triple that has Washington on top 2-0.
And again, this ball continues to slice away. It's a breaking ball, a slider. That's going away from Shane Victorino. You can see him start to his left, but that ball just kept curving and got by him. And by the time he can track it down, Zimmerman standing at third base. So a quick start for the offense, which has been struggling for the Nationals so far this season.
Well, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. Friday at 6:30 p.m., Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield will preview Joe Kelly's start. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Now Bryce Harper driving in the first run. Ryan Zimmerman driving in the second run. It is 2-0 Nationals for Wilson Ramos. 167 with a home run. 4 runs batted in. He's 4 for 24 to begin the year. Ryan Zimmerman 90 feet away. And a ground ball right side. Pedroia fields and throws and ends the inning. A lengthy inning for Miley. A 2-0 Washington Nationals lead. A lot of kids enjoying the bleachers today with the Nationals on top 2-0. Calling all kids here from Fenway Park, and they're coming as they have been called. Now, Gio Gonzalez on the mound today for the Nationals. The starting pitcher is brought to you by your New England Nissan dealers. Gio Gonzalez last year 27 starts, 10-10 with a 3.57 earned run average, 162 strikeouts and 158 2/3 innings. Mookie Betts leading it off for the Red Sox with work to do. Red Sox already trailing 2-0. For Gonzalez, last time out a loss against the Philadelphia Phillies. 6 1/3, 3 runs all earned. Nationals went into Citizens Bank Park right after the Red Sox had left Philadelphia. Mookie Betts 8 for 35 to begin the year. And a pop-up foul off to the right out of play. On deck is Dustin Pedroia. Then we'll see Hanley Ramirez, part of this bottom of the first inning. On the ground, sharply hit and into left center field. Mookie Betts on to start the bottom of the first inning. Taylor gets it back in, but Betts aboard with a base hit. Now, today's Red Sox starting lineup is brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Just saw Mookie Betts lead it off. He's in center field with Dustin Pedroia at second base. Hanley Ramirez in left field with Alan Craig getting a start at first base. Mike Napoli is the DH today with Shane Victorino in right. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Brock Holt at third base. And Sandy Leon does the catching. On this Jackie Robinson Day across the major leagues. Everybody wearing the number 42. As Dustin Pedroia stands in and takes the strike. Pedroia 278 last night, getting his third home run of the year and has 6 RBIs on the season. Breakdown is 10 for 36 so far for Pedroia. Ground ball right side. Ugla ranging. Go to second. They get Betts there. Throw to first is going to be late, as Pedroia is able to beat it out.
Today's Nationals defense is brought to you by DraftKings. They've made 9 errors in 8 games. Yunel Escobar will be at third base. Ian Desmond, the shortstop. Dan Ugler at second. And Ryan Zimmerman, the first baseman, left to right. Tyler Moore, center field. Michael Taylor and Bryce Harper in right. And Wilson Ramos doing the catching for Gio Gonzalez.
1 out, 1 on. And Hanley Ramirez, who came into the infield last night, played third base after Pablo Sandoval left the game. And hitting at 281 so far. 3 homers, 7 runs batted in. 9 for 32. Glances off the glove of Ramos, but no advance at first base for Pedroia.
And Gonzalez has faced the Red Sox 6 times in his career. A 3-1 record in that span in those 6 games. Former member of the Oakland Athletics.
Throw to first, and back to the bag is Pedroia. In his first season after leaving the Oakland A's and going to the Nationals, he won 21 games. It was 21-8 in 2012 with a 2.89 earned run average. 11-8 the next year, 10-10 a year ago. This is a liner to center. Taylor going back to make the catch on the edge of the track. And Hanley Ramirez with a line drive to center field is a out number 2.
Which is seeing quite a few balls early in this game hit very, very hard. A line shot by Hanley Ramirez, but Michael Taylor got an excellent jump on that and makes the catch on the liner going towards center field. Good contact there by Ramirez. He knew he hit it well, but not deep enough as Taylor tracks it down.
So 2 down, Pedroia at first base, and here is Alan Craig. 1 for 8 to begin the year. At 125, does not have a home run or an RBI yet.
Craig 3 for 7 in his career against Gonzalez.
.42 wins in the last 3 years for Gio Gonzalez. I saw Zimmerman in the first game, Strasburg last night. Red Sox able to beat both of them. And today, Gio Gonzalez, all part of this fantastic rotation that the Nationals have. 1-1 is rolled foul. Well, Jerry, the breeze has changed here. It's shifted for the first time in a home game this year for the Red Sox, now coming inward.
Yeah, it's a little bit from left to right now, and later on this afternoon supposed to shift to a sea breeze, which will cool things off a little bit here at Fenway. But I'll tell you, we have been really lucky with the weather these first homestand of the season.
Up top for a ball, 2-2.
First time we've had to keep the window closed because of the wind. The wind.
Breeze is the issue, blowing in.
Blowing papers all over the place.
Yep. So we are in the warmth here. Mary Walagunda, our stage manager, is exposed to the elements. Everybody else, in fact, exposed to the elements. This one rolled over, foul. The writers, our colleagues, security, not us. But you know what, Joe, at the end of this, I call you Joe, you're Jerry.
What did you call me?
Joe, I think.
Joe?
I was looking at Joe and thinking about Joe, but at the end of this, Jerry, your hair is going to look terrific because it's not going to move with the window closed. Swing and a miss, and Alan Craig strikes out. There's the first strikeout for Gonzalez. Red Sox lead Pedroia on and trail 2-0. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back at Fenway, where the Nationals have a 2-0 lead. Let's check in with L. Duncan.
Don Clay Buchholz obviously has pitched here at Fenway more than anybody else on the Red Sox rotation, so I asked him earlier today if he had any advice for Wade Miley, who is pitching for the first time here. And he told me when he smiled, you know, pitching is just pitching, and that's exactly what I told him. A lot of people, he said, might assume that you don't want to throw right-handed hitters inside because, of course, they'll just try to turn on it, and then you have to deal with the monster. He said that he told him just the opposite. A, you can't go an entire game and not throw anybody inside because they won't respect you, and B, if you can get them to kind of chase some of those inside balls, they'll start to try to pull the balls on the other side of the plate as well, which are going to end up being ground balls to shortstop and second base. And then, of course, guys, I asked him, have you ever seen a pitcher pitch as fast as Wade Miley? Clay shook his head and said, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it, but I imagine that it's great not only for the guys in the field, for the batters as well, because they don't have an opportunity to really kind of play into what they think you're going to throw them.
Well, he is working at a good pace. Had to throw a lot of pitches in that first inning, but I would imagine when he first started Fenway Park and the parts of this ballpark, the characteristics you've heard so much about, and has been tough in the past on pitchers to come here for the first time. Got to be a lot of nerves today for Wade Miley.
Well, it's so true that you have to pitch inside, even as a left-handed pitcher, because you'll find yourself the hitters will be reaching out over the plate, trying to hook the ball that's away and trying to pull it off that wall. So you have to come inside against righties if you're a left-handed pitcher in this ballpark, and same thing with right-handed pitchers.
Third full count already as Moore drives this one to right field. Victorino's been busy, and he's run down 2 of them now. Back towards the warning track, and they are testing Shane Victorino in right field. 1 down.
Yeah, Victorino's probably saying, look, let's take it easy here for a couple of innings. He's had a couple of tough plays to make. Again, that ball slicing away, but in a better position body-wise that time to make the catch going toward the wall. He had that tracked right from contact.
So his second put out there in right field. 1 down for Dan Uggla. Takes a hack at the first pitch. The veteran second baseman, former All-Star. 2 for 18 to begin the year for Uggla. Non-roster invitee to spring training, made the club. And he drives one out towards center field, where Mookie Betts now goes to right center when carrying it all the way to the dirt of the track with a second out here of the second inning.
Get the ball up in the air toward right field right now, and it's going to carry a little bit because of that breeze we talked about. Mookie Betts with the sunglasses on, able to make that catch going away. No problem that time with the sun.
Two down and ball 1 to Michael Taylor, hitting out of the 9 spot. 8 for 33 in the year at 242. Sprays it foul. Fastball at 92 miles an hour from Wade Miley. Well, Saturday morning, catch an all-new dining playbook hosted by Cask and Flagon, the ultimate place to grab a bite before you go into the park. National reporter Sarah Davis makes her favorite party appetizer with Jenny. Now, strikeout for Miley. It's a 2-0 Nationals lead. victories in homes across the Northeast. Did you know FW Web did that? Learn more about this proud Boston Red Sox sponsor at fwweb.com. Bottom of the second inning back at Fenway Park. Nationals on top 2-0. Great comedy teams, and we're one of them, Jerry, as it turns out. Seinfeld's in there, Tom and Jerry. Dean and Jerry.
That's Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
Jerry
right?
Lewis. Yeah. They've got our dental work in there.
Having a tough time with names today, Don. Calling me Joe. Tom and Jerry.
No, it is Mike Napoli to lead it off. DH3 for 28 to begin the year. Still looking for that first home run, and no runs batted in. Drives one to center. Back goes Taylor. Back to the triangle area, and it goes off his glove. Napoli's going to run a while. He touches second, heads for third. Harper is the one that picks it up, but not before Napoli stands at third base to begin the bottom of the second inning.
Well, we could see clearly from up here that ball really got caught up in the gusty wind and blew away from Taylor in center field. Now watch Taylor go back, and the ball right about here starts to break on him, and he tries to break with it, and it's going to go off the glove. I mean, to me, I'm going to call out a triple. We'll see how they read that up in the scorer's box. But that ball really took off. You could see it clearly from up here.
And from where he stopped to where he then picked it up again, it was quite a ways away from the wind knocking into that direction over to right center field. It is indeed a triple for Mike Napoli. And a good start to the bottom of the second inning for the Red Sox as Shane Victorino now down quickly 0-2. Shane off to a 2-for-20 start on the season with an RBI. Turns on this and lines it into left field for a base hit. Napoli will head homeward, and the Red Sox get their first run of the day. Shane Victorino drives it in.
Now Victorino gets on top of a high fastball. He quickly got ahead of him. I think he wanted to elevate that pitch higher than what he actually got it. He gets it about letter high. And watch Victorino bring the hands up, get on top of the ball, and put it on a line to right field. Nice swing by Victorino.
So quickly the Red Sox on the board here. Victorino at first, and Bogarts will take strike one. Inside to see Xander back in the starting lineup today. 433 beginning to his year. No homers and 7 runs batted in. 13 for 30 to begin the season.
Right now on a 6-game hitting streak, and good news, no serious problem with that knee, just stiffened up on him. Got the MRI. The MRI was okay. Came out early this morning, worked out, and said he was ready to go.
Chopped off the plate towards third. Escobar had to wait for it to come down, and his throw is going to be wild and into the Red Sox dugout. Another miscue for the Nationals. They will award third base to Victorino. Bogarts will go to second, and it's second and third with nobody out. Just uncorked that throw.
Well, the poor defense continues for the Washington Nationals. This time, Yunel Escobar, former shortstop, just lets it fly. Knew he had to rush it because it was a high bounce, and he rushed it and made a poor throw to first base. First error of the season for Escobar.
Second and third, nobody out. Brock Holt, the batter. What a start to the season for Holt. 7 for 11 out of the gate at 636. As he takes strike one. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Started at shortstop in his last start after starting in center field in New York. Now he starts at third base.
And all he is 7 for his last 10.
Cole fouls it off down by the shoe tops and falls behind 1-2. Nice day to be in the bleachers today as the Red Sox play day baseball here midweek and wrap up the series against the Nationals, having taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series and winning the first 3 series of the year. 25th pitch for Gonzalez is down and in. Matt Williams' team coming in at 2-6 on the year and have now lost 2 in a row, first 2 games of this series. With Atlanta off to the fast start in the National League East. Line and caught by Escobar. First out of the 2nd inning. Good contact from Brock Holt, but he is out number 1.
Yeah, good job by Holt making the hitting the line drive, but it's right at Escobar, who's well off the line. Left-handed hitter at the plate, takes him a couple more steps towards second base, and he's standing right there to catch the line drive.
1 down for Sandy Leon, who is 3 for 8 so far. No homers and an RBI. Leon 3 for 4 in this series against the Nationals. And a career high 3 hits on Monday on opening day here at Fenway Park. This marks his 3rd start of the season as he carves the first pitch foul.
Infield back for the Nationals this early in the ball game. They're willing to give up the 1 run with 1 out, but do not want to give up the 2. So second baseman, shortstop, back deep.
Leon on the ground is short. Desmond plays the high hop. His throw will go to first for the 2nd out of the inning, and the Red Sox tie the score. In from third is Shane Victorino, and on the ground out by Leon, it's 2-2.
That's a pretty good hitting position when you got a couple of men in scoring position, and you have the infield back. All you've got to do is make some contact, and you're probably going to get a run home unless it's back to third base or the pitcher. This ground ball goes to the shortstop. Run comes in. Red Sox tie it at 2, and Leon picks up the RBI, his 2nd of the season.
So the 2-0 lead for the Nationals is short-lived, and here is Mookie Betts. He singled to center field first time up against Gio Gonzalez. Fly ball right field. Bryce Harper makes the catch that ends the 2nd inning, but the Red Sox get a pair. It's tied 2-2 at the end of 2. top of 3, tied 2-2. And the top of the Washington Nationals order, Yunel Escobar walked in the first inning. Came around to score the Nats' first run. And now leading it off in the third and is quickly down on the count, 0-2. Escobar, Desmond, and Worth anticipated here in the third inning. Fly ball center field. Mookie Betts started in, now goes back and backpedals to make the catch. 5 in a row now retired by Miley. No rookie to flavor. Hood just stepped up to the plate with a new Red Sox Caramel Sundae cone. Bring it on home today. Always good, always Hood.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does.
One out here in the third inning. Ian Desmond bounced out to Pedroia at second base in the first inning. '50th pitch coming up here for Wade Miley with one out in the third. As Desmond takes the breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. 5 career starts against the Nationals, 1-2 with a 2.03 earned run average. That one will get away and even the count at 2-2. First time out for Miley, going 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, struck out 6 against the Yankees, but he certainly was nowhere around by the end of that game. 19 innings. This is driven to deep left field, and that ball is gone. Off the monster seats, Ian Desmond gets his first home run of the year, and the Nationals just like that back on top 3-2.
It's going to be a slider. It's going to be a down in the zone, but you see Desmond go right down there with it and lift it on the line into the monster seats. Keep telling yourself, get the breaking ball down. Well, he did get it down, but Desmond able to go down with it and make good solid contact.
So the Nationals get their lead back thanks to Ian Desmond. Jason Worth flied out to the warning track in right field. A great running catch by Shane Victorino back in the first inning to rob Jason Worth of extra bases. Still looking for his first hit of the year, as he's 0 for 8 to start the season. And there it is, a base hit to left field, just out of the reach of Xander Bogaerts, and Worth aboard at first base.
Well, the more pitches that obviously Worth is seeing, the better his timing is becoming. Hit the ball hard twice today, once to the opposite field. This time he gets a fastball in and able to pull it by Bogaerts to shortstop for the base hit. One
on, one out, and it brings up Bryce Harper, who doubled to drive in a run back in the first inning. Fooled on the pitch and down 0-1. Now, prior to the home run by Desmond, Miley had retired 5 Nationals in a row. Two balls and a strike to Harper, with Ryan Zimmerman on deck and one out here in the third. Trying to pick up that outside corner and just missed. Ball ball 4, and he loses Harper. So there's the second walk given up by Miley of the day. And now it's first and second with one out, and Juan Nieves going to head to the mound. Miley had a 1-2-3 second, had a little trouble in the first, having a little trouble here in the third. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, is the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Great day to be on the monster seats today. Red Sox and Nationals playing day baseball today, and Red Sox had just tied up the game 2-2 with 2 runs in their half of the second inning, but Washington answering very quickly here in the third and looking for more. As the home plate umpire Paul Schreiber out there to break up a lengthy conversation between Juan Nieves and Wade Miley. Jason Worth at second, Bryce Harper at first with 1 out in the inning. And Ryan Zimmerman, who tripled to drive in a run in the first inning, picked up his 4th RBI of the year. There is strike 1.
Starts him off with a changeup, a little bit something different to get a strike.
DraftKings.com, the official fantasy partner of the Red Sox, is giving out a pair of tickets to the Sox game on Patriots Day. Go to DraftKings.com/Nesson to play. In there for a strike at the bottom of the zone that time for Miley. Center fielder Mookie Betts over towards right center. Good size gap in left center for Zimmerman. Another full count here for Miley. 4th full count for Miley, and that pitch count rising early in his outing. Bouncing in for ball 4, and back-to-back walks allowed by Miley. Now has the bases loaded for Washington. It looks like there's going to be action here momentarily in the Red Sox pen.
Looks like Navarro may be getting up to get loose.
Wilson Ramos with a chance to do some damage. Takes strike 1. Talks it over with Paul Schreiber, the home plate umpire. It is Worth at third, Harper at second, Zimmerman at first with 1 out, a run already in for the Nationals. Here in the top of the third inning. Now a foul tip, and it's 0-2.
Change up low, followed by a fastball high. Up and away from Ramos.
Fouls it off himself and stays alive. Pitching line from Miley brought to you by Ace Ticket. 2 1/3, 4 hits, 3 runs there, all earned. He's walked 3 and struck out a batter, and already 71 pitches deep. He's 2 1/3 innings deep into his outing. And trying to get out of this mess here in the third inning. Up and in at 93. Last time he saw the Nationals was in August of last year, the 21st. It was at Nationals Park. He went 6 2/3, striking out 4. Fouled off again. Frame there by Leon, but called the ball. Miley wanted it. Needs a little help right now.
And this ball a little bit too high. It's a breaking ball, a slider, and that's not exactly where he wants to put it, up in that area.
Line down the left field line, and this is going to be trouble as it goes into the corner. Worth is in, Harper's coming in, and Zimmerman's going to try and score from first base. It is a bases clearing double that gives the Nationals a 6-2 lead. So a 3-run double for Wilson Ramos, and a 4-run top of the third so far for the Nationals.
Once again, it's the slider inside, but it's elevated and right down that left field line. This offense looking a little bit different today for the Nationals. And it's going to be an early afternoon for Wade Miley.
So the pitching change from Fenway with the Nationals now on top 6-2. Make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. 6-2, the Nationals on top of the Red Sox, chasing Wade Miley from this game after just 2 1/3 and 75 pitches.
And never really at any point in this game had command of his pitches this afternoon. His fastball was breaking ball, a couple of good changeups, but certainly a struggle for him here at Fenway.
It's called to the bullpen, brought to you by Kia, and Anthony Vivaro's 4th appearance of the year. He's not giving up a run in 2 2/3 innings. 2 Ks, a walk, and opponents hitting at 200 against Vivaro. Tyler Moore, the batter, the runner at second base, and still just 1 out in the inning. Miley had recorded the first out of the inning, but then the home run by Desmond, a single by Worth, back-to-back walks to Harper and Zimmerman, and then the bases clearing double to the left field corner for Wilson Ramos. Cleared the bases, a 4-run inning so far for the Nationals. As Moore takes the strike. First start of the series for Moore. 3 stints last year with the Nationals, sitting at .231 in 42 big league games. Navarro last working on Sunday in New York through a scoreless 7th inning. Gave up a hit, struck out a batter in 1 inning of work. Worked in all 3 games of the series against the Yankees over last weekend. On the ground, foul outside of third.
Fastball, breaking ball, changeup for Navarro for those who have not seen him. Former Atlanta Brave.
Swinging a foul tip, held on to by Sandy Leon for the strikeout. Navarro gets the first batter that he faces, 2 down.
Everything away in that at bat to Moore. Everything from the middle of the plate to the outside part of the plate and back to the outside to get the swing and miss on the fastball for the second out of the inning.
Mika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. So 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Dan Uggla now the batter. He flied out to center field deeply to the warning track in the triangle area back in the 2nd inning. Two for 19 to start the year for Uggla. The breaking ball slipping out of the hand of Navarro. Douglas still with good power. His 233 home runs as a second baseman lead all active players. Chase Utley is second, 221 home runs. And he lines this into the left field corner. From second base comes Ramos. He will score the 7th Nationals run of the day. It's an RBI double for Dan Uggla, and it's 7-2 Washington here in the 3rd inning. And that run is charged to Wade Miley. The book closed on him now. He's charged with 7 runs in 2 1/3 innings.
Now, certainly Uggla has always been known to be a good hitter. A second baseman who's known for his offense, and that time a bad changeup. A changeup that stays up around neck high, and Uggla is able to shoot it down that left field line.
Ninth member of the Nationals to bat in the inning is Michael Taylor. He struck out swinging against Wade Miley in the 2nd inning. This is driven to left. Ramirez on the run won't get there. One hops the wall. From second base comes Uggla to score. Throw to second base, and Taylor will be safe as the ball gets away. It's an RBI double for Michael Taylor. It's an 8-2 lead now for the Washington Nationals.
Now, this is what the Nationals have been waiting for. I mean, they've been pitching fairly well, but they have not been scoring a lot of runs, and they've come out swinging the bats today. High fastball that time. It was a high changeup, then a high fastball, and right now nothing good happening for the Red Sox here in the 3rd inning.
So back to the top of the order for Yunel Escobar. He started the inning by flying out to center field, and at that point it had been 5 in a row retired by Miley. But since then, Miley's been chased from this game, and the Nationals have put together a 6-run attack here in the 3rd inning. Now a chopper to third. Brock Holt will go to first and put an end to this top of the 3rd inning. The Nationals scoring 6 times and taking an 8-2 lead.
after 2.5, and you're looking at the number 42. It's Jackie Robinson Day here, well, across the entire nation. So he's the crux of our poll, presented by the new Scion TC. We know he's most famous for playing baseball, but did you know Jackie Robinson was an all-around athlete, becoming the first athlete at UCLA to win letters in 4 sports? So we want to know, outside of Jackie, who was the best multi-sport star? If you think it's Jim Brown, text Sox 1. Bo Jackson, Sox 2. Sox 3 is Deion Sanders. Sox 4 is Jim Thorpe. You can text your answers to 536-536. Remember, message and data rates may apply. And the legal stuff is over on Nesson.com. Don, Jerry, I don't know. I'm impartial. I had a Bo Jackson poster on my wall growing up, but I had the Deion Sanders bumper sticker, even though I didn't have a car. So who's your pick? This is a tough choice.
Well, Jerry, you got to see Bo Jackson more than you saw Deion Sanders, I would imagine. But your thoughts on Bo Jackson?
Actually, I saw both of them, and Bo Jackson, to me, without the injuries, obviously, that happened to him, had so much ability as a baseball player, a cannon for a throwing arm, had tremendous power, just a great athlete.
Well, Dustin Pedroia leading it off here in the 3rd inning. Red Sox have work to do, now trailing by 6 runs. They had just tied up the game 2-2 when the Nationals were able to get Gio Gonzalez some breathing room and then some. Pedroia, Ramirez, and Craig expected to bat in the inning. And another grounder foul.
Don, am I the only person, as we look at this poll, that did not know that Jim Brown was in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame? Did you know that?
I got to be honest with you. I had no idea.
Right?
I did not know that either.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the other sport was, but I thought I'll let somebody tell me.
He ran track in college, and he was in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. He was apparently very good at, just as good at that as football. Obviously, football, a little more lucrative.
I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't have wanted to tackle him in football. There's no way. He'd just run right over you. Run right over you, Don.
Now, Pedroia tried to hold up and could not. He went around. Pedroia is hot as Clint Fagan, the first base umpire, rings him up. Second strikeout for Gio Gonzalez.
And Farrell not too happy about it either, as he's got a few words to say out there to Fagan. Take a look at the side shot, see if we have a swing or not. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure we do. So you got 2 guys very unhappy. Pedroia and Farrell.
1 out here. Hanley Ramirez lining out to center field in the 1st inning, getting a second look at Gio Gonzalez. Hanley hit the ball hard in the 1st inning, but Michael Taylor out there in deep center field able to make the catch. Bat goes flying out of the hands of Hanley Ramirez.
I've seen that a couple of times from Hanley. He must really hold the bat very loose, because a couple of times already this season we've seen this bat really fly out of his hand, and for distance too. I didn't see Jim Thorpe play, did you?
No,
I didn't either.
No. 40th pitch for Gonzalez, and it's a check swing foul over by the on deck circle. Mookie Betts' hot start this season is further proof that the big guys aren't the only big stars in baseball. Visit Nesson on YouTube at youtube.com/Nesson after the inning for a video listing and 7 smallest baseball stars who played bigger than their size. The 1-2 pitch is a little bit low. I wonder if you're one of those 7 baseball stars who played bigger than their size.
First of all, I wasn't a star, and I don't think I played bigger than my size.
There's a ground to the left side. Escobar gathers and throws. Hanley Ramirez is out number 2 of the 3rd inning, 2 down.
If I was to guess, I'd say Patek's on that list. Certainly Dustin Pedroia would be on that list.
David Eckstein might be on that list.
David Eckstein's another good example.
So 2 down here for Alan Craig. 1 for 9 start. Craig struck out swinging in the first inning. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. He runs 7 hits, an error for the Nationals. 2 runs, 3 hits. No errors for the Red Sox, and a foul tip at the plate evens a count of 1-1. On the ground left side, Escobar to his left in time to get Craig and to end the 3rd inning as a 1-2-3 inning for Gio Gonzalez. 2 strikeouts in the inning. There's a strikeout, a ground out, another strikeout, and exactly what the Nationals wanted from him, a shutdown inning after they score 6 times in the top half of the 3rd inning. So the score here through 3 is 8-2. The Nationals are on top. We will step aside and come back with more from Fenway right after this.
Know of the events that took place in our town 2 years ago on this date at this time. All of us know of friends whose lives were altered. All of us know of families whose hearts were shattered. Our mayor, the Honorable Martin J. Walsh, has asked us to stand together, feel together, and remember together those whom we lost on April 15th, 2013 at 2:49 p.m. As we do, we remember Crystal Campbell of Medford, Massachusetts, Lingzi Liu, a Boston University graduate student from China, and 8-year-old Martin Richard of Dorchester. We, of course, also remember Officer Sean Collier, killed 3 days later. Let us remember them now.
Obviously, he's not going to tell the owner of the team the truth if it's a bad truth, and he did
Ladies and gentlemen, we are one Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Boston strong. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our city. Let's play ball.
Now the 2-year anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings recognized here, and the request of Mayor Marty Walsh to pause for a moment of silence at exactly 2:49 p.m. to remember those affected. So we play on now with the 4th inning here at Fenway Park, and the Nationals on top in this game 8-2. Ian Desmond homered his last time up and got that 6-run inning started for the Nationals. And swinging to the first pitch, fouls it off to the right, out of play. Wade Miley chased from this game after 2 1/3 innings. 5 hits, 7 runs. Walked 3, struck out a batter. Navarro coming in the 3rd inning and getting the final 2 outs of that inning. Starting this, the 4th inning, is John Farrell now try to piece together the remainder of this game with the bullpen. Jason Worth waiting on deck. And then we'll see Bryce Harper as part of this 4th inning. Well, Navarro had been ahead 0-2, but it's even at 2-2. Off the end of the bat, a lot of spin on it to first base. Alan Craig will flip to the covering pitcher, Anthony Navarro, for out number 1 of the 4th inning. And by putting people and communities first, Eastern Bank helps make good things happen. Watch how good things are happening to local people at easternbank.com/goodthingshappen. 1 out here in the 4th inning as Jason Worth comes up. Worth flying out to the warning track on a good running catch by Shane Victorino in the 1st inning. Then he singled in the 3rd. Came around to score the 4th Nationals run, and here's his 3rd at bat of the game as he bats here in the 4th inning. Breaking ball slipping out of his hand again. 2-0. Had trouble gripping that so far in this appearance for Navarro. Foul back and just below us.
Had the window been opened down, we might have had a shot at that. But that was a little too hot to handle, I think.
You could have leaned over.
Yeah, but I had a little too much on it.
Strike call. Worth didn't like it. On the ground to third base, Holt to his left, and he'll fire across for the 2nd out of the inning. There'll be a special press conference at 3 p.m. on NESN Plus. Boston Bruins will be holding that press conference. Charlie Jacobs and Cam Neely holding that press conference. The announcement earlier today that they have relieved Peter Chiarelli of his general manager duties. I want to Head to Nesson Plus to see the live press conference at 3 p.m. 2 down. Bryce Harper has doubled and walked and scored 2 runs. In there for strike 1 at the top of the zone.
It's one of those days, if you use a pitcher too long, you may have to make a roster move for the following day. So we'll see how long Navarro goes in this game for John Farrell.
Fouled off to the left, out of play. Do have the luxury of having tomorrow off. And the Orioles coming in for 4 over the weekend. This is a jam job, but out to center field. And on the hands that time of Harper, but he just flips it out to center field and is aboard with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
He's been on base 3 times so far today. A double, a drive, and a run, a walk, and now a broken bat single. Gets jammed on that inside fastball, but still able to float it out to center field for the base hit. I forgot all about that day off tomorrow on Thursday. 4-game series coming up with the Orioles. A wraparound series.
Ryan Zimmerman has been on twice, a triple and a walk. He has scored a run and driven in a run as he takes strike 1. Desmond grounding out to begin the inning. Worth grounded out. Harper with a base hit, a flare hit to center field. And Ryan Zimmerman with 2 outs and a runner at first. Harper gains his lead, held on by Alan Craig at first base. Harper started and stopped as Zimmerman hits a fly ball to right. Victorino with a wind taking it a little bit, able to shift over and make the catch. 3.5 done, 8-2 Washington. Make your banking and your day easier. See how at easternbank.com. Here, your first Eastern Bank. Back at Fenway Park, where the Nationals enjoy an 8-2 lead over the Red Sox here in Game 3 of the series. Gio Gonzalez back to the mound for the bottom of the 4th inning. An inning in which Mike Napoli, Shane Victorino, and Xander Bogaerts are the expected batters. Mike Napoli with a triple in the 2nd inning came around to score the Red Sox first run, and that was the inning. The Red Sox tied the score 2-2 after trailing 2-0, but the Nationals put a 6th spot on the board in the 3rd inning. Napoli didn't think so, but according to home plate umpire Paul Schreiber, they picked up the outside corner.
Gonzalez trying to have a couple of easy innings. Had a rough 2nd inning where the Red Sox got a couple of runs, but then a 1-2-3 3rd. And with this pretty big lead at 8-2, see if he settles in.
One on the year as Gio Gonzalez coming in is lost to the Philadelphia Phillies in his first outing. Napoli protecting the plate and fouling that one back.
Fooled a little bit on a changeup that time, and somehow able to make some contact to foul it off. Ball way outside.
Six in a row retired by Gio Gonzalez. And Napoli strikes out for the first out of the 4th inning as we send it down to L.
Shane Victorino makes his way to the plate. I talked to him earlier today about the inconsistency with the Red Sox schedule. I mean, guys, we've been talking about it this entire time. Day games followed by night games, 19-inning games followed by day games. And he said, to be honest, for him personally, because they give him so much off time in between, it hasn't been a huge factor. But he can understand that it's been really rough and tough on these guys simply because they've been on the road as well. He did note, which is kind of an interesting point, that because it's been so inconsistent, it's not as bad because they haven't built any type of rapport. They haven't rattled 6 or 7 straight night games and then had to follow them up with a bunch of day and night games. But he said, at least this isn't happening in August. And then I asked him when he prefers to play day or night games, and he says he likes night games because he's big on routine and he feels like he can clear his mind. Donna Jerry said when he has to be here for a 1 o'clock game, you literally wake up and start playing baseball.
Well, you prefer the night game as well, right?
Well, I did, because baseball players have this routine that they go through, and it's hard after a game to unwind. I mean, it really takes a while when you get home, even after a night game. You sit around a while. Your hours are much different than if you had a normal job, where you're getting up to go to work and got to be there by 8 or 9 o'clock. Work doesn't start here till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so you have a tendency to sleep a little bit later. That's why those day games catch up to you very quickly, and especially after you play 19 innings, they come real quick,
like 4 hours after.
But on the other hand, like these weekday day games like this, especially if you're traveling, the getaway day, I mean, the players love that because they get into the town at a reasonable hour instead of a 4 o'clock in the morning arrival.
Mm-hmm. 1 down, 1 on, and Xander Bogaerts the batter. Victorino working the walk to get to first base.
I guess to make it easy, once you get into the flow of the season, I think the night games are what players are most accustomed to, and that's what their schedules are, and that's why day games become a little bit more difficult.
Seems like in April that for the first couple of weeks anyway, your start times are all over the place.
Yeah, you got a lot of crazy times. You got some crazy travel, obviously some crazy games like we've had, and you can see the schedule, the upcoming schedule. Next road trip will be to Tampa Bay and Baltimore, and you get into a rhythm next week of a bunch of night games in a row. after, of course, the 11 o'clock start here on Monday.
You got 7 o'clock on Friday, 4 o'clock on Saturday, 1:30 on Sunday, and 11 a.m. on Monday. A little bit all over the place. As a swing and a foul tip for strike 3. That's the 5th strikeout for Gonzalez. 2 down in the 4th inning. Membership has its privileges. Learn how you can join the most exclusive sports membership in Boston as a Red Sox season ticket holder. Call 617-226-6888. Email new season tickets at redsox.com or visit redsox.com/season tickets today for more information. 2 outs in the inning, and Brock Holt lined out to third base in the 2nd inning.
Tell you what, days seem very long. The Red Sox play an awful lot of the Sunday night games, and
Yes.
those don't start till 8 o'clock. It's a good thing because you're a popular club. People around the country want to see you play. But those days take forever. I mean, for the game to start. That hour makes a big difference.
And certainly a big deal when you're playing a day game the next day in another city, which the Red Sox were in the home opener. Pitch in there for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's the playoffs are like that, though, right? I mean, playoff baseball, you get a lot of night games followed by a quick turnaround in a day game. Trying to get all those games scheduled in.
Goes around and strikes out. Gonzalez ends up striking out the side. We head for the 5th. It's 8-2 Nationals. Learns how to field a ground ball in the outfield from Shane Victorino, while his dad, Big Papi, takes the hot seat in small talk. And they put the audience to the test in a Stump Your Parents. Catch it all at noon on Nesson Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental. Fifth inning back at Fenway Park, 8-2. The Nationals with the lead, out hitting the Red Sox 8-3. Wilson Ramos to lead it off here for the Nationals. More Anthony Vivaro, who came into this game in the 3rd inning. Final 2 outs. Works the 4th, out there to begin the 5th. A 2-hopper out to Bogarts. And Ramos on 1 pitch is out number 1 of the 5th inning.
Been watching Bogarts. Looks like he's moving around okay. Doesn't appear to have a problem with that knee, and that's certainly good news. It's a nice second bounce on this, right about belt high, and the crow hop step, throw to first base for the out.
One out here in the 5th. Tyler Moore 0 for 2. He's flied out to the warning track in right, struck out swinging. Oh for 12 to begin the year for the Nationals left fielder. Worth started the first 2 games in left, and today is the DH as Moore gets the start in left field defensively. And Ugla waiting on deck with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Shadows approaching the home plate area as we play on day baseball today from Fenway Park. A liner to center field and in for a base hit for Tyler Moore, his first hit of the year. Well, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abood, available at Men's Warehouse Friday at 6 p.m. Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield will preview the Orioles Red Sox series. 1 out, 1 on. Dan Ugla coming up, second baseman for the Nationals. Was flied out to the warning track in center field and had an RBI double in this game. Swing and a miss at a high fastball at 93 miles an hour. Strike over the outside corner that time, and it's 0-2. Ugla breaking into the big leagues with the Marlins initially in 2006. He's there through 2010, and then 4 seasons in Atlanta, 4 games last year with the Giants in San Francisco. Some 30-plus home run seasons over the course of his career. The most Cincinnati one season was 36 home runs, and that was as a member of the Braves in 2011. Just off the outside edge, apparently 2-2.
That's one if I'm a pitcher I'd like to have right there. That's a pretty good breaking ball by Vivaro, and it looks like it picks up the outside corner. About knee high. Call not going his way.
Ugla started his first 6 seasons in the major league, 6 consecutive years with 20-plus home runs. One player in major league history whose primary position was second base to begin his career with 6 consecutive 20-plus home run seasons. Michael Taylor waiting on deck. 40th pitch for Vivaro of relief, and it's a fly ball to right field. Shane Victorino now coming in with the wind pushing it down. 2 down here in the 5th. Lots of sunshine out there and not many clouds above Fenway Park.
And Victorino struggling a little bit, it looked that time, with the sunshine. Sunglasses on, using the glove, middle of the cap.
Michael Taylor bats from his number 9 spot in the order. Strikeout victim in the 2nd. He doubled to drive in a run in the 3rd. And he takes the breaking ball for strike 1.
Let's look at down those old flip down sunglasses there. They're about a thing of the past, aren't they?
You wore those all the time, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep. Now most players just wear the shades to field and hit and do everything. Victorino with the sunglasses on. Hanley. Mookie Betts in center field. Those old flip downs, I hated those things.
And like,
you put them on your head, and if you couldn't find the flipper,
you're done.
You're like big trouble.
Yeah.
I can't find the flipper.
Ball's in the air, and I can't flip down. Swing and a miss, and a pitch down and away. Taylor strikes out, and we're halfway through this one with Washington on top 8-2. Get to know Pablo Sandoval, Shane Victorino, Daniel Nava, Brock Holt, and Clay Buchholz, who put on the mic and allowed cameras behind the scenes at spring training. That's Red Sox All Access tonight at 6:30. Jeb Fisher in the house here at Fenway Park today. New dad. 8-2. The Nationals have the lead over the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning.
He's a new dad. That can't be his son, right?
No. No.
I didn't think so.
No. A baby girl last week. Congratulations to Jeb. Had the pleasure of working with us for a couple of years as associate producer.
Oh, we had the pleasure of working with him.
Sandy Leon grounded out to shortstop in the second inning.
Not sure how much of a pleasure it is for them to work with us, but it was certainly a pleasure for us to work with them.
Yes. You had the pleasure of going over the Open every day with you, which was always fun, I know, for Jeb.
Hey, we rely very heavily on their input.
Absolutely.
For Opens, because most of the time we're blank.
Apparently a little bit low, and it's 3-0. Leon grounded to shortstop in the second inning, as Gio Gonzalez has retired 6 batters, 5 of the last 6 batters. There's a strike, 3-1.
And stuff about doing the Open is, you have an idea, like, come driving into the ballpark, and then it all changes at 4 o'clock.
Exactly.
That's when you get the lineups, and that's when you see John Farrell. And
clubhouse is open. Drive to left for Leon. Back goes Moore onto the track to make the catch. Into the shadows there in the corner for the first out of the 5th inning.
It sounded good leaving the bat, didn't it? But I think it got knocked down pretty good by that breeze. A pretty strong breeze again here today at Fenway. And that's one that might have been a wall scraper the last couple of days.
One out here in the 5th for Mookie Betts. Single to center in the first, fly to right in the second inning. Quickly down 0-2. Gonzalez throwing strikes today. And a swing and a miss. 7 strikeouts now for Gonzalez. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
He's had good off-speed stuff today too. Curveball and changeup. A couple of strikeouts, a number of strikeouts on changeups. That's a very good one there to Mookie Betts. Gonzalez in that groove we talked about. After having trouble in the 2nd inning, he's really gotten tough on the Red Sox.
2 down for Pedroia. 0 for 2 today. Today's key matchup is brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Dustin Pedroia enjoying playing against the Nationals. His career a .333 average with 3 doubles, a home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 walks. Actually, Dustin has enjoyed facing National League teams altogether. Has done very well in interleague over the years. Pedroia a .336 average in interleague play, leads active major leaguers. And he lines this one promptly to left field. Tyler Moore to the corner to play it. Pedroia's headed for 2. And a head first slide into second base with a 2-out double.
Now Pedroia came into the game a .154 hitter against Gio Gonzalez. It was a home. He did have a home run against him. This time stays back on that fastball and again gets the barrel of the bat out and shoots it down that left field line. And pulling the ball extremely well. Always makes me nervous when I see Dustin dive in head first.
2 down, Pedroia at second, and Hanley Ramirez the batter. Driven to left down the line, and that ball is gone into the monster seats. A 2-run home run for Hanley Ramirez. His 4th home run of the year. And the Red Sox trying to get back into this one. It's now 8-4 Washington.
Wow. That didn't take long to get out of here. That's the way you got to hit him when you got a breeze like today. Line shots. That ball was absolutely crushed by Hanley Ramirez. It's a breaking ball. And a no-doubter. I think the only question was it going to be high enough to get up over the wall, and it certainly did.
So 2 down, 2 runs in, and Alan Craig now the batter on a pitch that is elevated for ball 1. Fourth home run for Hanley Ramirez on the year. Now Craig rolls it over foul. Red Sox with action in the pen. Robbie Ross Jr., the left-hander, is up. After 2 2/3 innings from Anthony Vivaro, did a nice job. Grounder foul to the end of the Nationals dugout and back out again. To third base, and Yunel Escobar for the 3rd out of the 5th inning. But a 2-run home run for Hanley Ramirez gets the Red Sox a little bit closer. It's 8-4 Nationals. Gets the Red Sox closer with his 2-run home run. Yanel Escobar, the top of the Nationals order, to lead it off here in the 6th inning. Anthony Vivaro back out on the mound again. And it's strike 1 to Escobar. It'll be Desmond, then Worth. 1, 2, and 3 here for the Nationals in the 6th inning. Robbie Ross Jr. still warming in the pen. He was at the end of the last inning and continues. Navarro logging some innings here for the Red Sox out of the pen. After Wade Miley went just 2 1/3. Escobar has walked, fly to center, and grounded out to third base. On the corner that time, and it evens at 2-2. Everybody in the order for the Nationals has at least one hit, with the exception of Yanel Escobar, although he did get on with a base on balls back in the 1st inning.
They really push him over to the opposite field in the outfield. Mookie Betts well into, you can see shading him toward right field. Victorino shading him a bit toward the line, and a big gap out toward left center field for Escobar.
'50th pitch of release for Vivaro, and he walks Escobar, the leadoff man here in the 6th inning. Well, John Farrell hops out of the dugout here as Vivaro works here into the 6th inning, helping him out, logging some innings, but he walks the leadoff hitter here in the 6th, and that'll do it for Vivaro. So Robbie Ross Jr. making his way in. While we have a moment, let's throw it down to Dining Playbook co-host Jenny Johnson, who is here to tell us about an exciting new addition to Fenway Park.
All right, well, right now I'm at the brand new gate at Fenway, Gate K, the kids concourse, a gate just for the kids. The Red Sox are doing a lot this year for all the kids. They're giving away 25,000 tickets. Now, once you come in here to Gate K, there are special things for the kids. Great kids items like the peanut butter and jelly that everyone loves, but there's also Wally's Clubhouse. So when your kids get a little antsy in the middle of the game, take them down here to Gate K into Wally's Clubhouse, where there's games and food items and a lot of great stuff to do. Make sure you also become a Kid Nation member this year. It's free for the first time ever. Don and Jerry, we better see you down here at Gate K at some point during the season.
All right, Jenny, we will indeed be down there at Gate K at some point during the season.
Want to go right now?
Well, we could.
Now, where exactly is Gate K?
Right field corner.
Right field corner.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, the Red Sox making the pitching change. Anthony Vivaro coming out of the game, as he goes 2 2/3 innings of relief here today. And now Robbie Ross Jr., 4th appearance in a Red Sox uniform, not giving up a run in 2 2/3 innings. 3 strikeouts, no walks, and opponent's hitting at 125 against Robbie Ross Jr. Comes in after Escobar walked to begin the inning. Ian Desmond will be the first batter that he faces. Desmond got the rally started in the 3rd inning with a solo home run. Nationals would go on to score 6 times in the 3rd inning and took an 8-2 lead at the time. Red Sox getting 2 back on the 2-run home run by Hanley Ramirez in the bottom of the 5th. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
The home run came on a breaking ball back in the 3rd inning. A slider that was not really that bad of a pitch. It was down and in, but he just gallops it right out of the ballpark for the home run.
Jason Worth in the shadows there, getting ready for his at bat. Nationals batting here in the top half of the 6th inning. Two and one to Ian Desmond. Ross finishing Saturday's game at New York with a scoreless 9th inning. Was up in last night's game but did not get into the game. Falling behind 3-1. So now made 154 career appearances in the majors between Texas and Boston. 142 of those coming in relief. Was a starter briefly for Texas. And he walks the first batter that he faces in Ian Desmond. First two on here for the Nats in the 6th inning. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, never forgets that before you're a patient, you're a person. Beth Israel Deaconess, human first. Learn more at bidmc.org/human first. Here is Jason Worth with runners at first and second, nobody out. Walk by Vivaro, a walk allowed by Ross Jr. And now Worth will take strike one.
A chance to meet Robbie Ross's dad just a couple of days ago in the Red Sox clubhouse here visiting Fenway Park, and really caught up in the nostalgia of this ballpark.
Popped up, out goes Pedroia to run it down in short center field. First out of the 6th inning.
Once again, very difficult to see. You see Pedroia looking up into that sun, but has the sunglasses on and kind of made a motion out to Victorino after that. The ball was a little bit tough to see.
One down, two on. Bryce Harper, the batter. He's been on base 3 times today. A double, a walk, and a single, scoring 2 runs, driving in a run. Shadows now crossing the home plate area as we play on here this afternoon at Fenway. And Harper late on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Lefty on lefty matchup here.
Yeah, just challenge time right here. Fastball, heart of the plate, no contact by Harper.
Foul tipped and held onto by Leon. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And so far, everything has been up high in the zone to Harper. High fastball that time.
So Vivaro went 2 2/3 innings, 2 hits. He was charged with 1 run. He walked about or struck out 2, but logged some innings for John Farrell to save that bullpen after Wade Miley lasted just 2 1/3 today. And Miley touched for 7 runs. 7 of the 8 runs the Nationals have. On the ground at second base, Pedroia will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. A double play that ends the top of the 6th inning. 8-4 Washington. lines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Bottom of the 6th inning back at Fenway, 8-4. Nationals have the lead. Now welcome to Fenway Park.
First game goes to Jimmy Fun. Go Red Sox. A nice day for your first game at Fenway Park.
Mike Napoli leading it off for the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Napoli a triple in the 2nd inning, scored a run and then struck out swinging in the 4th inning. Gio Gonzalez with his 81st pitch that sails up and away. 7 strikeout day for Gonzalez, who has walked only 1. Gave up a 2-run home run last inning to Hanley Ramirez. Look at his line, brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. A little different look there on the delivery, and he falls behind 3-1. Napoli with a leadoff walk to begin the 6th inning. It's time for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Tom? All right, Tom, thanks very much. Here it is 8-4. The Nationals have the lead over the Red Sox, but a leadoff walk from Mike Napoli starts the bottom of the 6th inning. And Gonzalez missing to Shane Victorino with the first pitch. So catcher Ramos out there to talk to him. A little wild to begin this 6th inning. Steve McCadden, the pitching coach, looks concerned. Victorino's been on twice today. A single to left in the 2nd, a walk in the 4th inning. In there for a strike, 1-1. It's had to deal with the wind out there in right field. Couple of good catches in right for Victorino today. Right on that outside corner. Victorino checked with Paul Schreiber. And this one grounded back towards the mound. Gonzalez spins and throws to get Victorino as Napoli moves up to second base. 1-3 on the put out for the first out of the inning.
Good job here by Gonzalez. There's no panic. I mean, he comes in, feels it with his bare hand, gets squared up to first base, and gives a good accurate throw to first base. As we all know that last night the National pitchers had a little problem, especially around home plate. Hey, how about that balancing act?
Very nice.
That's pretty good.
It gets better and higher. You never know what you're going to see at the ballpark.
No, the little kid looks like Jim Dodonna.
The 1 out and a runner at second. And Bogaerts takes a pitch for a strike.
Did you see it facially?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Yeah, very similar. Jim Dodonna, of course, our very good producer who is off today. The one pitch is going to surround the plate but miss. Shadows have encompassed the home plate area now and starting to make their way out to the mound. Foul down the right field line, out of play.
They're playing the carom that time. Oh, gives it to his. I don't know if it's his girlfriend, but girl sitting next to him.
1-2 pitch, left side. Escobar will go to first. 2 down, no advance for Napoli, who's got to stay at second base. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield will have post-game reaction from the Red Sox clubhouse. Can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason.
Ooh. Oh, that's not good. That's
part of the celebration. Yeah. He got this guy in front of him.
The guy in front is not happy at all.
Yeah.
No. Watch what you're doing with your drink. I don't want it all over me, and you got some on me.
Well, 95 pitches for Gio Gonzalez matches his total from his first effort against the Philadelphia Phillies, in which he lost that game. Strike called, perhaps generously there by Paul Schreiber. Brock Holt.
Now he's got himself straightened out in this inning. He started off with a walk, but then gets back-to-back outs as Napoli gets his lead off second base.
Falling behind now, 3-1. Carves it foul, full count. Still throwing hard, 93 miles an hour in that last fastball. And Holt fouled it off. Red Sox trying to take advantage of a leadoff walk for Mike Napoli to begin the inning, but so far Victorino grounded out. Bogarts grounded out. Matt Williams trying to get out of town with a win here today. Salvage the final game of the series. As Holt fouls it off to the left, out of play. Taylor Jordan warming in the pen now for the Nationals. Fly ball down the left field line. Tyler Moore has that ball into the seats, as it turns out. Wind is whipping around Fenway Park today. Lots of sunshine, blue skies above. Red Sox trailing by 4 runs, batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Fly ball towards right center field. Bryce Harper is not going to get there. It's going to one hop up into the bullpen. Ground rule double that'll score Napoli, and it's now 8-5 Washington.
What a very good at bat by Brock Holt. You know, lefty against lefty. That's a tough matchup to begin with. Gonzalez pitching very, very well, and Holt fouls off a couple, then gets the fastball inside and gets it by Bryce Harper out there in right field. One bounce into the bullpen, and the Red Sox are right back in this game.
Steve McCaddy coming out here for the Nationals, trying to get Gonzalez through the 6th inning.
A couple of times that Holt has hit the ball hard and back in the 1st inning, a line drive, but that was right at the third baseman, Yunel Escobar. A fly out. Now this double to drive in a run. Picks up his 5th RBI of the season. That's all he can do in the Red Sox dugout is peck away, you know, say let's get one here, one there, and you're right back in the ball game. The Red Sox now are back in the ball game.
Two outs, Holt at second base, and Sandy Leon, the batter, 0 for 2. Grounded out shortstop in the 2nd, flied out to the warning track in left in the 5th. Diving at third base is Escobar. Gets up and throws out Leon. So nice play by Escobar to end the inning. Red Sox get a run back through 6. It's 8-5 Washington. The top of the 7th inning. Red Sox getting a run back in the bottom of the 6th. Robbie Ross Jr. back on the mound as Ryan Zimmerman leading it off here for the Nationals.
A big inning here for Ross. Momentum on the Red Sox side right now. They've scored the last 3 runs in this game to get them back in it.
David Ortiz available today on the bench. Regularly scheduled day off for David. Day game after the night game here at Fenway Park. Fouled off to the right out of play, and it hangs at 1-2.
Yeah, pretty soon those shadows might become a factor as you see it moving out toward the pitcher's mound.
Back towards the mound, Robbie Ross Jr. fields, plants, and throws. A nice stretch there by Alan Craig at the bag at first for the first out of the inning. Local Dunkin' Donuts franchisees are proud to give back to the communities in which they live and work. Thousands of kids have had the chance to catch a free Sox game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Today we welcome Quincy Youth Build to historic Fenway Park. Dunkin' Donuts, committed to the community. One out in the 7th inning. Wilson Ramos coming up here for the Nationals. He is grounded out, double, and grounded out again. His double back in the 3rd inning produced 3 runs, came with the bases loaded, and it's part of a big 6-run 3rd inning for Washington. Today's Red Sox starter Wade Miley, 2 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 7 runs. Walked 3, struck out a batter on the hook right now. Anthony Vivaro went 2 2/3, giving up a run of his own, and Robbie Ross Jr. so far an inning and a third, and here's a base hit back up the middle for Ramos, his 2nd hit of the game.
And that huge double back in the 3rd inning to drive in 3 runs. Now the 1-out base hit here in the 7th.
One out, one on, Tyler Moore. Flied out to the warning track in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd before singling to center field in the 5th. Follow the Red Sox all season in 2015 with the MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Robbie Ross Jr. up to 25 pitches in relief. Fouls it off to the right, 2-2.
What was a backhanded attempt or something? It's like the guy had some interest in the foul ball, but not a lot.
Marginal interest. fly ball off the bat of Tyler Moore out towards left center field, and that ball is gone into the monster seats. A 2-run home run for Tyler Moore off Robbie Ross Jr., and it's now 10-5. So just when the Red Sox were getting closer, the Nationals come up with a 2-run home run.
Yeah, we talked about how important this inning was for the Red Sox because momentum was on their side. Well, that has changed very quickly. Gets a fastball at 94 and takes it up into the monster seats. A big offensive day today for the Washington Nationals.
Now Dan Uggla fouling one off to the right. Uggla flied out to the warning track in center field in the second, doubled and scored in the third. Flied out to right in the fifth. There's a strike. 1-2. So now Robbie Ross Jr. has given up a couple of runs. Had an inning of shutout relief in the 6th inning, but runs into trouble in the 7th after getting Zimmerman. Single by Ramos, 2-run home run by Moore. Now pop-up sends Pedroia backpedaling and over the shoulder to make the catch. Nice play by Dustin Pedroia. He recovered, started initially over the wrong shoulder. Gets back to make the catch. Couldn't get a good look out of the gate on that.
Yeah, exactly right. And you can see him spin around right there to try to make this over the shoulder catch and just barely is able to get to it. I mean, to me, playing here for many years, I always thought the toughest win to play was the one that you have today, going from left field toward right field, you know, and slightly in. I always thought that was the toughest. When it's going straight out, I mean, you know the ball's going to carry out to center field. You know that. When it's blowing straight in, you know it's going to cut a lot of fly balls down in the outfield. But the one that's the cross breeze is the one that I always thought was the toughest.
Michael Taylor, the batter, a double back in the 3rd inning. He struck out twice today. Fouled off to the right out of play, and it evens at 2-2. 35 pitches of relief for Robbie Ross Jr. right now. Red Sox do have action in the pen. Craig Breslow warming up. Line to right center field, and that's in for a base hit. Second hit of the day for Michael Taylor. And the 3rd hit of the inning for the Nationals now, up their total to 12 in the game. Monday, April 27th is Replica Fenway Park night, as all fans in the attendance will receive a free replica model of Fenway Park presented by W.B. Mason. Visit redsox.com/promos for more information and to purchase your tickets now.
You're going to enjoy that. Come on the 27th because it's a very nice replica of Fenway Park. It really is. We saw it in spring training.
Of course, it was Wally bobblehead night last night at the ballpark. Juan Nieves out there to talk with Robbie Ross Jr. Sticking with him here is Yunel Escobar, the top of the order now for the Nationals. In there for strike one. Escobar's been on twice today without the benefit of a base hit. He has walked twice, fly to center, and grounded out to third. A lot of work going on here in the booth during the inning as Jerry forgot to pay his electric bill. And
my monitor has been shut off.
And you don't have the sharpness you're looking for, I think.
I don't have that HD quality that we're so used to here at Fenway Park. But at least I have a monitor that's working now.
You do have a picture now.
I do have a picture, so thank you, Chris.
Taylor the big lead at first base, and there he goes. Here's a grounder back towards the mound. Robbie Ross throws to first and ends the inning, but a 2-run home run for Tyler Moore, and the Washington Nationals have a 10-5 lead. Be sure to visit Game On before every Red Sox game in April for a chance to be selected as the Budweiser fan of the game. Fans 21 and over can participate. Budweiser, brewed the hard way. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. 10-5. The Nationals picking up 2 additional runs in their half of the 7th inning. New pitcher on for the Nationals in his major league debut, Rafael Martin. Last year in the minor leagues in 38 games, 3-2 with a nifty 1.39 earned run average. Well, sitting at 171 against Martin.
66 strikeouts in 58 and a third innings for him last year.
Participated in winter ball this past offseason. Started this year at AAA Syracuse before being called up by the Nationals. Mookie Betts, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, the trio anticipated here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And a fly ball out towards right center field. Bryce Harper battling the sun and coming from center, and stepping in front of him was Taylor.
Well, they say the center field is a take charge guy. That's really taking charge, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's going right by your right fielder and making a catch.
Now, it looked like Harper was battling out there and left.
Well, it's the sun right now at this time of the afternoon, and a better angle for Taylor in center field, and you can see him calling for it right there.
First out of the 7th inning. Now Pedroia takes a strike. Dustin reaching on a fielder's choice in the first, struck out swinging in the 3rd, doubled in the 5th. Popped up foul off the first base side, but that'll get a push back into the seats. Hanley Ramirez, who hit a 2-run home run back in the 5th inning, waiting on deck. So Gio Gonzalez going 6 innings in today's game before handing it over to Rafael Martin in his major league debut. A liner into left field for Pedroia. Over is Tyler Moore to play it. Pedroia is on with a 1-out base hit. His 2nd hit of the day. Now here's today's T-Mobile game-changing play, and it is Gio Gonzalez, who started today 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs. 4 of the 5 are earned runs. Walked through, struck out 7, and departs with a chance to grab his first victory of the year. Finished the day with 104 pitches. One out, one on in the Boston 7th inning. Hanley Ramirez. Hanley with a 2-run home run his last time up. 4th home run this season and his first ever at Fenway Park.
Well, only 89 miles an hour, but it seems to be a little quicker than that. So that kind of delivery that Martin has, where he kind of slings it up to home plate.
Very close pitch, and Ramos, the catcher, left it there for a long time for Schreiber to look at.
And that's an indication that he thinks it's a strike. Holds it there. He pulled it in just a little bit, and then now he drops it down.
I'm back in the 5th inning with Pedroia at second base and 2 down. Ramirez with a line drive home run. Hanley fouls it off to the right out of play. Dustin Pedroia at first base, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And a swing and a miss as Ramirez strikes out. So first strikeout in the major leagues for Martin.
Just throws the fastball by him at 90 miles an hour. Everything had been outside, this time to the middle of the plate. And gets the swing and miss from Ramirez. I think right now that talked about the shadow, and I think it's becoming a factor. It's about halfway out there now between the pitcher and home plate. Home plate very dark.
Two outs for Alan Craig, and 0 for 3 day today as he gets the start at first base. Struck out in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, grounded out to 3rd base in the 5th. In there for a strike. Mike Napoli getting the day off defensively. He's today's designated hitter for Boston. Alan Craig does not agree, but he is down 0-2. Fouls the pitch off to the right out of play. I want to remind you to stay tuned tonight following WB Mason Extra Innings Live, a Red Sox final presented by Uno's. Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield will take a look at Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Strike 3 call. Craig is frozen. Back-to-back strikeouts for Martin. We're through 7 with the Nationals on top 10-5. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare on Southwest.com. By Buick, experiencing the new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. The all-new Kia Sorento. Visit NewEnglandKiaDealers.com to learn more. And by the exciting Scion TC. Back at Fenway Park, where Washington has a 10-5 lead over Boston. New pitcher on for the Red Sox. The fourth of the day as Craig Breslow comes into the game. Has not given up a run in 4 2/3 innings. 4 walks to 3 Ks. Opponent's hitting at just 0.71 against Breslow. He comes in after Robbie Ross Jr. ended up pitching the last 2 innings for the Red Sox. Allowed a total of 2 hits and 2 runs. The 2-run home run by Tyler Moore. Walked a batter, did not strike anybody out. Ian Desmond leading it off here for the Nationals in the 8th. High fly ball, shallow left. Bogarts shading his eyes. Wind knocks it right back to the dirt of the infield, and Bogarts able to make the catch. Started back on the outfield grass, comes back in and puts it away. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the Boston Red Sox. Whether you're taking your truck off-road or the kids to practice or your sports car to its limits, there's a Toyo Tire for you. Visit toyotires.com to find a dealer. 1 out in the 8th. Jason Worth, a 1-for-4 day for the Nationals DH. Ten runs, 12 hits, an error for Washington. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Boston. Strike called on a pitch that Worth thought about swinging at. And now questions Paul Schreiber.
A pretty good pitch right there by Breslow.
Bryce Harper on deck with 1 out here in the Nationals' 8th inning. So this game has been pieced together by the Red Sox bullpen after Wade Miley went 2 1/3 innings, giving up 7 runs. Anthony Vivaro 2 2/3, giving up a run. 2 innings from Robbie Ross Jr., 2 runs in 2 innings. And now it is Craig Breslow in the 8th. And down to first base goes Worth with 1 out. There is Bryce Harper, 2 hits today and a walk, been on base 3 times. Last time up, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play. Fouls it up above us and out of play. Fouls it back, and it's 1-2. Tomorrow the Red Sox are off, but there will still be baseball in Nesson. Don't miss the first Paw Sox game of the season. Pawtucket opens its season at home versus the Rochester Red Wings. See how things are going in Rhode Island tomorrow night at 7. A 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and it is 2-2. I understand there is an artist rendering of what the new ballpark in Providence would look like. A downtown ballpark in Providence.
Looks like a big league stadium, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. 2-2, lifted foul down the left field line, out of play.
It's amazing how many AAA ballparks that have been built over the last, I'd say 10 years. Are just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they upgraded the facilities across the board, really, at all levels for the most part, but definitely at the AAA level.
Yeah. You know what river that is? You're from that area.
Yeah. Do I know where that is? Is that what you asked me?
Do you know the name of the river?
I believe it's the Providence River.
The Providence River?
Yeah, I think so.
See that again? I mean, is that like the ballpark out in San Francisco? Could you hit one in the river?
Look a little far for that. Payoff pitch is a fly ball to right center field as Betts. Wynn's going to knock it back towards the infield. Overcomes Victorino and makes the catch for the second out. Throw to first, and back to the bag is Jason Worth. He was wandering off the bag thinking that may get in, but had to hurry to get back. 2 down. Oh, you can do it.
Looks like you can do it from that drawing.
Sure. And you see the whole canal system that goes down behind there.
Yep, downtown to the left.
Yep. So very much like San Francisco's ballpark.
Yeah, it's even got the boats coming up. Where's your boat down?
I could take my Sun Dolphin right out there.
Catching home runs. I can see you doing that.
Pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
You know, after about 40 more years when you retire from this, I can see you on the Sun Dolphin out there by the ballpark in Providence.
Trying to catch foul balls. Got a big net.
Big net out there for batting practice.
Boston Day here at Fenway Park. Deep shortstop, and Bogaerts up into the air with a nice play, throwing to second base to get Jason Worth, and to end the top of the 8th inning. 10-5, Washington on top. Pretty play by Xander Bogaerts. The game, and it was the catcher for the Washington Nationals, Wilson Ramos, with the bases loaded. Back in the 3rd inning would clear him as part of a 6-run 3rd inning for Washington. That was a big hit at the time. The Nationals, after the Red Sox had just tied it up 2-2, opened it up then. The Sox chipped away, but it is now 10-5 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Wilson Ramos with a big double back in the 3rd inning. Mike Napoli leads it off here in the 8th. Victorino, then Bogaerts scheduled to bat as Napoli takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Martin making his major league debut here today at Fenway Park. Napoli fouls it off to the right, out of play. That's 2 strikeouts. Mookie Betts flied out to center to start it. Pedroia with a base hit, but then he came back and struck out Hanley Ramirez and Alan Craig to end the 7th inning. And Jerry, as you were pointing out, right now the shadows could be a tough time of day.
Yeah, you see sunlight where the pitcher is. All of a sudden that baseball gets dark when it starts to come in. Found it especially tough on picking up the spin on breaking balls. I still think the worst conditions are when both the pitcher and hitter are in shade and there's still sun shining on the backdrop in center field.
Swing and a miss, and Napoli goes chasing it a pitch away. That's 3 strikeouts in a row now for Martin.
And his first major league strikeout was against Ramirez, and he's added 2 more since then. Because he got the souvenir for the first one, he threw it back toward the dugout. First major league strikeout. And now 3 in a row.
1 out for Shane Victorino. He has singled, walked, and grounded back to the mound. His single in the 2nd produced a Red Sox run. Xander Bogaerts on deck. Red Sox batting here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yeah, swing and a miss.
And does a good job keeping that fastball away from those right-handed hitters. Everything to Victorino has been out there.
He stays out there and strikes out Victorino. That's 4 strikeouts in a row for Martin. That time to the breaking ball.
Yeah, first 3 were on fastballs. This time he goes to the slider. Same area outside. Victorino thinks it's going to be a fastball. Little cut at the end.
Two down here in the 8th as Xander Bogaerts hops back out of the way of a fastball inside. Reached on an error in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 6th. Gio Gonzalez for 6 innings. Rafael Martin so far for an inning and 2/3. And there's a strike, 3-1. Fouled off as Martin battles back, full count. I remind you to tune in tonight at 10 p.m. for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Sarah will have full coverage. Peter Chiarelli being let go, and we'll discuss the verdict in the Aaron Hernandez trial. See what know-how can do. The off pitch is fouled back, and we'll do it again, 3-2. And Martin in that only outing that he had in the minor leagues this year with Syracuse in 2 innings had 4 strikeouts, and this one fouled back, has 4 Ks in his major league debut.
He must be sneaky quick because, you know, you read the gun and it's 87, 88, 89, but it certainly appears to be quicker to the hitters. Going back away with the fastball.
Strike 3 call. Bogaerts knew it. Takes with him the 5th strikeout for Martin, who strikes out the side. End of the 9th. It is 10-5 Washington. At twice the speed and half the cost of traditional laser jets, the HP Office Jet Pro X is the perfect addition to your starting lineup. Now 50% off. Get yours today from none other than who but WB Mason. Craig Breslow back on the mound, and first pitch swinging and fouling it off to the right is Wilson Ramos. A couple of hits, a double and a single, 3 RBIs for Ramos. We showed you his bases clearing double back in the 3rd inning. Part of a 6-run third for the Nationals. Well, Nationals pitching today with the 5 strikeouts by Martin. Now 12 strikeouts in the game. 7 for Gio Gonzalez and 5 for Rafael Martin. Swing and a miss, and speaking of strikeouts, Craig Breslow gets his first K. 1 down.
You don't see Breslow do that very often, where he elevates the fastball to pick up the strikeout. See Leon set up outside, and that ball goes up and away outside the strike zone, but chased by Ramos.
1 down in the 9th, and it brings up Tyler Moore. Moore flying out in the 2nd, struck out in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, homered in the 7th. A 2-run home run in the 7th inning. That was off Robbie Ross Jr. Drew Storen up in the pen for the Nationals. Nationals will head home after this ball game today, and they will take on the Philadelphia Phillies in a 4-game series beginning tomorrow night. Max Scherzer will be on the hill. Red Sox do not have to deal with Scherzer this time around. They've dealt with him enough over the years with the Tigers.
And of course, that's one of the names that was out there all of the offseason, wondering where he would end up. I don't think anybody expected Washington because they had so much pitching to begin with.
This one fouled back. You know, he turned down the offer that he got from the Tigers after his Cy Young Award winning season. I thought, that's pretty tough. I mean, you're never going to pitch better than you just did. You're going to have a lot of confidence in your abilities to do that. He did it, and he ended up getting a lot more.
But how much do you need, though? You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, really, when you think about it. Huh?
Swing and a miss, and Craig Breslow's got back-to-back strikeouts. 2 down here in the 9th. The monster repeat is going on now at Jordan's Furniture. It's your chance to win free furniture and mattresses. If the Sox win the championship this season, it's all free. It's the monster repeat, and it's going on now. Go Sox. Two down in the 9th. Dan Uggla. It's a fly ball out to right field, sending Victorino back to the warning track. He will make the catch in front of the wall. Been a challenge all day, and up to the task out there in right has been Shane Victorino. 10-5 Washington. Starter Gio Gonzalez goes 6 innings, giving up a total of 5 runs. Parts with a chance to grab the victory, his first of the year. Big offensive numbers for a lot of the Nationals, but Harper and Moore leading the way. And Red Sox having their starter, Wade Miley, chased from this game after 2 1/3 innings, charged with 7 runs. Hanley Ramirez has his first Fenway Park home run. Well, the Red Sox trail 10-5 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Drew Storen, the new pitcher now for the Nats, his 3rd appearance, a 4.50 ERA and 2 out of 2 in save opportunities. As he deals with a pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Brock Holt with a double and an RBI his last time up in the 6th inning, a 1-for-3 day. Got the start today at third base. Storen has not had a lot of chances to save games for the Nationals. They're a closer. Ground ball right side of the backhand. Zimmerman actually went to the forehand that time and flipped over to Storen, who covers for the out. Pinch hitter coming up here for the Red Sox. Instead of Sandy Leon, we will see Daniel Nava with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Last year, Drew Storen led all National League relievers and was 2nd in Major League Baseball with a 1.12 earned run average for the year. Last year, 11 saves and a total of 65 relief appearances for Storen. Ball and a strike down to Nava. Nava 1-for-3 in the series and pinch hitting here in game 3 of the series with Mookie Betts waiting on deck. Ball 2-2-1.
It's that fastball changeup mix combination that Storen has featured so far. Back to the fastball that time at 91.
Nava strikes out looking. That was the 13th strikeout for Nationals pitching in this game. 2 down in the 9th inning.
That's pretty nasty right there, too. The slider to the outside part of the plate. So Nava saw fastball, changeup, and slider in that at bat. And that's one as a hitter you just kind of admire because you give up on it, you think it's away, but then it picks up the corner.
2 down, and it's up to Mookie Betts. 1-for-4 in the ball game. Single back in the 1st inning. He'll take strike 1. On the ground, foul outside of 3rd, and Betts is down 0-2. In the air, foul down the right field line. Still 0-2 to Betts. It is now 7 in a row retired by Nationals pitching, and 6 of the last 7 have been by way of the K. Pedroia waiting on deck. 2 down in the 9th. That's hanging tough. Fouls off another. And we'll see a 6th pitch in this at bat. Reaches out and pops it up foul off to the right out of play. Making Storn work here with 2 down in the 9th inning.
Giving him a good battle right here for Mookie Betts. .93 but low and away.
15 pitches for Storn since coming in. 10 have been for strikes. Two pitch. On the ground to short. Desmond throws out Mookie Betts, and the Washington Nationals are able to salvage the last game of this 3-game series. Red Sox win the series, having taken 2 of the first 3. But today the Nationals, their offense just too much, as they come away with a 10-5 victory at Fenway Park, out hitting the Red Sox 12-7 to make a winner of Gio Gonzalez. We send it to Tom Caron.